All right, let's jump right in. Today, we are breaking down two ancient, and I mean incredibly powerful, arts of persuasion. These are ideas that shape our world way more than you might think. We're talking about that classic showdown, pure logic versus powerful emotion. So, which one actually wins out? Let's find out.
So let me ask you something right off the bat. Think about it. When you're making a big decision, what really persuades you? Is it the hard facts? A perfectly laid out logical argument, all numbers and data. Or is it a story, an appeal that just clicks with you on a deeper emotional level? That question right there, that's the very heart of what we're talking about today. Okay, so let's start with our first pillar. To do that, we've got to go back to the ancient Greeks. These guys were on this relentless, almost obsessive quest for truth, and they forged a special tool for it. They called it dialectics. So what is dialectics? At its core, it's basically a structured conversation. Think of it like a really disciplined back and forth. It's this process of asking and answering specifically designed to strip away all the fluff, all the assumptions, and get right down to the fundamental truth of something. And here's the key. It's not about winning. It's about discovering what's actually right. And this whole idea has a pretty rich history. The credit for inventing it usually goes to a guy named Zeno of Elea, but it was really Socrates and his student Plato who became the absolute masters of it. They used this relentless questioning to just tear down and challenge the conventional thinking of their day. And then later on, it was Aristotle who came along and basically wrote the manual, formally analyzing and documenting the whole method. This quote just says it all, doesn't it? Truth is born in dispute. It perfectly captures the whole philosophy. See, the Greeks didn't think truth was something just handed down from on high, like a divine command. No, for them, truth had to be forged, like in the fire of an intellectual battle. It had to emerge, stronger and clearer, from the clash of opposing ideas. Okay, so that's dialectics, the search for truth through cold, hard logic. But now, let's pivot to its counterpart, because rhetoric is about something else entirely. It's not about finding objective truth. It's about connecting with people, moving them, and getting them to act. This is the power of influence. Rhetoric really got its start with a group known as the Sophists. You can think of it as the art of eloquence. Now, it's not always concerned with what's objectively true. Instead, its main goal is to create belief. It aims right for the heart, for our feelings, for our intuition. It's all about using powerful, persuasive language to win over an audience. And Plato? He drew a really sharp line in the sand here. For him, persuading someone using pure logic, that was the noble work of a philosopher. But instilling a belief in someone using emotional tricks? Oh, that was the shady domain of rhetoric. And let's just say he was not a fan. He was super skeptical of the whole thing. But his student, Aristotle, was, a bit more of a realist. He made this absolutely crucial observation. We, as people, are most convinced when something appears to be proven. It doesn't even have to be proven. Just the appearance of proof is often enough. That feeling of certainty, whether it's logically justified or not, that's incredibly powerful. So here we are with these two kind of opposing forces, right? You've got pure logic on one side, pure emotion on the other. But in the real world, we all know it's rarely just one or the other. Most modern communication, the stuff that really works, is a sophisticated blend of both. And that brings us to the idea of argumentation. The best way to think about argumentation is as the modern recipe that combines both of these ancient arts. It's the whole process of building a case for an idea or for an action. It's built on the understanding that to truly convince someone, you have to bring together the technique of clear thinking, your logic, and the technique of persuasion, your influence. And a really strong modern argument? Man, it's got a lot of moving parts. It has to be factual, of course, but it's also got to have that rhetorical flair. It needs to tap into our shared values. That's the axiological part, what we believe is right or wrong. It has to be ethical. And through it all, it has to be held together by a solid logical core. It's like all these different gears have to be turning together perfectly. But even with all those pieces working together, people have argued for centuries. Is one of them ultimately more powerful than the others? What's the most important part? Well, after all that debate, they've pretty much landed on one single, undeniable gold standard. And what is it? Logical proof. At the end of the day, it always comes back to logic. The absolute strongest form of argumentation is logical proof. We're talking about an argument built on foundations that are undeniably true, with reasoning that is perfectly sound. When you have that, it's basically irrefutable. Okay, so I know what you might be thinking. This is all cool ancient Greek stuff, but why does this matter to me today? And the answer is, it matters now more than ever. Believe it or not, this whole field is actually having a huge comeback. Modern thinkers are championing what they call a new rhetoric. And the focus is shifting. It's less about just winning an argument at all costs and more about the relationship between the speaker and the audience. The goal today isn't to beat someone over the head with facts until they give up. It's about persuading through reason, guiding people toward a shared understanding. And that right there is the real takeaway. When you understand this stuff, when you can spot the difference between an argument that's targeting your brain and one that's targeting your heart, you become a way sharper critical thinker. You can see how you're being persuaded. And on the flip side, you become a much, much more effective communicator yourself. So I'm going to leave you with one final question that kind of brings us right back to where we started. In today's world, we're just flooded with information, right? So what's more powerful? An argument that is 100% true or one that is simply believed? Now that is something to think about.